Hey public, I am here in Delaware, Ohio, and I figured talk about something a little bit more controversial than gaming, which is my usual topic. Um, but I did some quick research and found out that several things that I've heard are wrong. And I guess they're shouting fake news and all that stuff, but it seems that I think that some people that opine on the subject, whose voice is way much heavier than mine, um, don't really know what they're talking about, apparently, or just don't care to do research, or were fed information by somebody else that might have been um, misinformed. And I've been a victim of that myself. And I'm going to tell you a small story. A friend of mine owns Pitbulls. And for the longest time, I was like, I'll never have a pit bull in my house. They eat children, all the nightmare that, and this was a few years ago, but, all the nightmare stories that have been spilled on the media as far as, how awful of a pit bulls are. And I started arguing with this friend of mine, and they just told me, they said, no offense, if you want to continue this, we can continue this tomorrow. But right now, you're coming off as pretty ignorant. So just do some research, and, if you still feel the same way tomorrow, go ahead, and, we can continue this argument, and there you go. And I was like, all right. Yeah, I'm going to come back with a lot more to say. And I went home and did some research and made myself look like a complete ass. And just one of those moments when the deeper my research went, the more wrong I felt. And whenever anybody said anything, and there were breed-specific laws for the longest time, and an aggressive breed. And it's like any dog that's hyper can be an aggressive breed. And truthfully, I don't know of a more aggressive breed than Chihuahuas. It's like I used to have a job in which case I worked on hospice equipment where I go to other people's homes. And I have never met a dog that is more aggressive than Chihuahuas. Those little things will try to sink their teeth into your heels the second you turn on them. But to go back to the point that I was saying is that the more I looked into it, and the more I discovered about the dog, the more of a fan I was becoming of the dog. And, you could look at a picture of a snarling pit bull and go, oh, that's terrible. It's like, well, yeah. And then you're like, oh, well, they're used in fights. It's like, bad people train them to do bad things. A pit bull that's raised in a family with, and when they're loved and cared for. And it's like, and you can even have misguided owners on the fact that, dog starts to get a little crazy. One of my favorite comedians, Bill Burr, talks about owning a pit bull. And anybody that hasn't seen his act, I'm going to try not to spoil it, but really needs to go see it, because that is more or less the story of an owner that didn't really know how to act around a dog. So he had to educate himself, and then, and he loves his dog. And that's awesome. And of course the show, which is on my to-watch list, I'm not gonna say I've seen it because I haven't, but and that's Pitbulls and Parolees. I guess what it's called. Yeah, that's what it's called. But all of these things happened because at one point the public saw pit bulls in a certain way. And then the more educated the public got on the topic, the more that whole thing shifted to where, it's like one of the favorite animals there. It's like you want something that has enough energy to play with the kids, hardy enough to, actually help you out with, work if you're doing some logging, or need to carry around some tires in your backyard, whatever, And it's a real good, energetic dog, but, not afraid to protect the house that, that it's in. Perfect. It's a perfect dog for it. and I plan on getting one. So there, full 180. But and this right here explains the title of the video, and this is the rub, and that is there are many pit bulls out there that are being mistreated and being trained to do very terrible things. And to that, and to those owners, I will say a healthy fuck you. Fuck you, you are making the problem out of what was never a problem to begin with. But that being said, and that being said is that those owners painted the picture of a wonderful family dog and made it look like a monster. And in my humble opinion, which right now I don't own any guns, I don't own any dogs really. So, in my opinion, the same thing is happening to the AR-15 right now. Is this gun is being painted as just the worst thing in the world, and in my opinion, a gun is a gun. It's the owner of the gun. And it's like, I understand that when tragedies befall, I've got kids, and I can't even imagine what the parents are going through. And I realize that even voicing opinion on the topic right now is just a hard thing to do. But my opinion is that the owners of the guns, that's the problem. And I realize that is a far more nebulous problem to deal with, is, the psyche of some people, and that they snap, and that, horrible things happen when that happens. But it's in the nebulous ether, which is that problem. That's where we're going to find the answers at. That's where we're going to find the real answers at. And that's something that we as a society have to look into. But in my oh so humble opinion, disarming the public of really anything, any weapon that they have legally acquired, is not the answer. I don't think that's the way to go, because there are many law-abiding citizens that use that gun. And as far as everything I've read about the gun so far, it's a dependable weapon. It's a good weapon. People buy them and own them for reasons, and for it being affordable. So, but this is why I've compared the two, and I've seen of cats and guns, and that was a fun little video. But the thing is it's the owner. It's the owner that you should look at. A pit bull grows up in a house with a loving family, and they grow into be protected dogs that love their family, and gentle to the kids, gentle to the owner. But if you step in that house uninvited, that's a bad time for you. But that's what they know. And a dog that is taught nothing but pain and nothing but the competition for its life every day, and is beaten every day, and is mistreated every day, is not going to be anything but a killing machine. And I think that's where we've arrived at between pit bulls and AR-15s. And society turned around and gave pit bulls a chance, and grateful for it. And I think that the AR-15 is getting the same treatment right now. But, you know, if you want me to elaborate on this, I will, but I think that's about all I can say on the topic right now. Thanks for listening, anybody who did, and have fun, people.